YouTube, what the flaming crap is going on? HeirofCarthage here. I've got the Knights of the Blazing Sun and a Bright Wizard. I wanted to bring a lot of fire to the battlefield. I was hoping the Wood Elves might give me a good chance to use it. My main line is 6 Flagellants, so once again, spamming the max number of the unit. I got a Spearman on either flank, and I've got 4 Knights of the Blazing Sun. And once again, Volkmar on his chariot mobile here. So the Wood Elf line, they've got a couple of Eternal Guard, a bunch of Dryads in the center who are going to feel the wrath of my Knights. He's got 4 Glade Guard. I believe 2 of them have the magic arrows, I don't remember what they're called, Starfire Shafts, and then he's got 2 Hagbane tips. Volkmar and the Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to push forward first. The Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to just destroy these Dryads. Volkmar will do likewise. But the rest of my Knights are going to have to flee back. Out on the flank over here, I was able to get a good charge order on my opponent's Wild Riders, and I am using Kindle Flame on my Wizard, which means every one of the Elf units on the battlefield has an extra 12% weakness to flame damage, and that'll help me out. But right here, I got nuked by these archers and wasn't even noticing it, so I almost lost my Wizard right away in the fight before he even really got to do any good. Volkmar gets pinned down, which is not ideal, and some of my Knights get kind of pinned down in here too, but they completely murdered this Dryad unit. And then over here, this Knight got 22 kills and heavy damage. I am going to go ahead and drop the Burning Head with my Wizard. Should be able to wipe out a good number of these archers. There wasn't really a condensed area of the fight where I was going to get even more Wood Elves. Look at some of my own Flagellants here going to get burned down. Woo! Not just some, but quite a few. Flaming Head goes more on a straight line now. So that was pretty cool. Burned a lot of my own guys, but we did drive out the Starfire Shaft Archer. Volkmar and my Knights are going to come chase down some of these archers. My opponent's going to try and get to me with some Wildwood Rangers. He's going to pull away from these Flagellants because he knows that he needs that protection. Here in the center, I'm going to drop a Flaming Sword of Ruin, and it'll mostly help my Flagellants. It'll help my Knights of the Blazing Sun, who shouldn't be staying in this fight, especially against the Azrae Spear. That was a mistake on my part. But most of my Knights of the Blazing Sun are staying busy and charging down archers. This was the idea. I wanted to penetrate the Wood Elf line and get to all his archer units. So that was kind of my objective here. And Knights of the Blazing Sun caused some pretty intense damage. They got good melee attack, and they've got really solid charge bonus. And with Kindle Flame, they cause even more damage. Got a good charge here. You do a lot of damage to the Wildwood Rangers on the charge, but they will jack you up in long-term combat. Anti-large and anti-armor. Volkmar, though, has 40% resistance to magic and 15% resistance to missiles. And so that makes him very well suited for messing up Wood Elves. I think the biggest thing that would really screw up Volkmar would be if they could get a dragon or something to pin him down, like use that Prey of Enethrema and then pin him down with a dragon. Then he would be in big trouble. Other than that, Volkmar is going to be pretty successful against the Wood Elves in many cases. Flagellants, I brought them for one reason. They're unbreakable, and they are good against low armor. The Wood Elves tend to field all low armor units, so there was 2 reasons for that. I didn't want my infantry line to fully evaporate. I wanted my opponent to have to keep trying to kill them. My Bright Wizard finally gets what's coming to him, so not terribly useful to me in this battle, but his Kindle Flame helped early on, as did the Burning Head by taking out a unit of Glade Guard, though I wouldn't say he quite paid for himself here. Some more Glade Guard returned from routing, so these archers, I keep killing them, and they just keep coming back. They're surprisingly resilient. Look, there's more of them over here, too. They've been caught by the cavalry and Volkmar a couple of times. Volkmar, of course, can regenerate, and he is regenerating at a pretty good pace. These spearmen have done a great job over here just pinning units down for a long time. Wild Rider is going to try and mop up the rest of my Flagellants, and they should succeed. The Glady is on a Elven Steed over here. So a little bit different to see her on the Elven Steed. She's not going to be easily caught, so I believe I give up the chase there momentarily, and I'll go just chase other units. Volkmar manages to get over here and break up this fight. I'm trying to lure all these Wildwood Rangers and other things into the infantry fight. We're going to charge these Azrae Spear, hoping to knock them out of the fight pretty quick. Volkmar does cause terror, but Azrae Spear are immune to psychology, I believe. Yeah, Knights of the Blazing Sun still doing some great work out here on the archers. Able to chase them down. There's more archers trying to flee, but they won't live for long. So, archer's going to get pinned down. My opponent did great here, though. It just doesn't give up. Like, he continues to pursue and fight. And my flagellants are getting beat up. His Glady, he continues to stay away from me. He's trying to skirmish. And he has a relentless pursuit of Volkmar, which makes sense. So here I get a big group of my flagellants, and we're going to re-engage the Wood Elf infantry in kind of a second fight. So 2 groups of infantry ready to re-engage. These Wildwood Rangers are going to be tough to deal with. Out here, I see the Glady coming, and I was thinking, yeah, I'll take a quick engagement. She engages me. I don't think the Glady's going to cause a ton of damage. And then I try and run away, and he uses the Prey of Anathrema there. And he's regrouped some, oh, yeah, I thought he regrouped some Wild Riders. No, they're not here. Maybe I'm thinking of something. Well, look at that. The Prey of Anathrema isn't even working. What a bunch of crap in my favor. Comes a quick charge. This won't annihilate these units, but hopefully do some good damage. Because they were pinned up against my flagellants. They did some damage. Definitely took some health off the Wildwood Rangers, but again, the archers just continue to regroup and fire. So I've got my knights continuing to flush out regrouped archers. These guys have been attacked several times and just keep on coming. Glady got away from me, and she should have. I charged these Wildwood Rangers thinking, these guys will die pretty quick, but Volkmar didn't even penetrate their formation on the charge. But I'll let him sit here. He does a little bit of anti-infantry, but again, he's taking a lot of anti-armor, anti-large, which is not good. Glady's like, well, this is an opportunity if I've ever seen one, so she comes in. And then, yeah, this kind of turns a little bit sour here for Volkmar. Not exactly the kind of fight that he wants to be in, to be honest. What the heck? It's like a Dryad just rolling around here. Yeah, Volkmar's going to try and get away, use some of his bombardment damage. So he does get away, but you can see that he's healing so much, the white line up there is starting to drop down, meaning there's only so much more he can heal, and I do have to be careful. The Glady is being quite relentless. But I've got some Knights of the Blazing Sun. I'm going to pull over to help. We're going to get away from these Eternal Guard. I don't want to fight them. And I'm going to bring the Knights of the Blazing Sun to put the Glady into her final throws here. So she's going to get charged down. Flaming swords, everybody weaker to fire. Well, they were weaker to fire when my wizard's here, not anymore. And that's going to be it. Volkmar helps wrap up the rest of the infantry, and the Glady's going to flee. Another fun game. This one also against Mogboy. Had a lot of fun playing against him. I could have sworn he beat me earlier in a match, but I can't remember. He said he didn't remember. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But yeah, the Knights of the Blazing Sun, all of my units picked up a chevron. This one picked up 3 chevrons. So it did some good damage, and they were intended to be the damage dealers in my army. When Mogboy had Dryads here, it was actually good for me because I think they're weak to fire damage, and they were even weaker because of the Bright Wizard. So Flagellants worked out good, Volkmar worked out good. It was a fun battle. I like the Empire's flexibility. They have a ton of flexibility. It's one of the reasons why I like them, and it's kind of the same reason why I like the High Elves. They're kind of go-to factions for me. They're not a specialist at any one thing per se. They're just very good at, or they're quite good at multiple things. Anyway, what do you all think? What do you think the most flexible factions in your mind? And then what do you think are some of the specialist factions? And I'm curious to see what are some of your favorite specialist factions. The Wood Elves, in my opinion, are a specialist faction. They're good in certain situations and very tough to use in others. Anyway, appreciate MSI sponsoring. Appreciate you all being here. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you later.